You think you're being a good cat owner. You feed your cat every day, keep the bowl full, maybe even buy the fancy food. But what if I told you that the one thing you do out of love, every single day, is slowly making your cat sick? Stay right here, because what you're about to learn might completely change the way you care for your cat. The love that hurts most cat owners genuinely love their pets. They want them happy, comfortable, and well-fed. But here's the thing. Love without knowledge can cause real damage, and nowhere is that more visible than in how we feed our cats. You'd be surprised how many people are unknowingly hurting their cats with habits that seem completely harmless, even caring. Think about this. When your cat meows at you with that persistent, almost dramatic cry, what do? Most people give in. They top off the bowl, add a little treat, or open another pouch. Just this once. It feels like you're listening to your cat. It feels like connection. But your cat isn't telling you it's hungry, it's telling you it wants something. And those are very different things. Cats are masters at manipulating their humans. That's not an insult. It's actually a sign of how emotionally intelligent they are. Over thousands of years of living alongside people, cats learn that certain behaviors, meowing, rubbing, looking pitiful, get results. So when you respond to every single vocal demand with food, you're not feeding a hungry cat, you're reinforcing a behavior. And that behavior, repeated daily, leads to overeating. The scary part is that overweight cats don't look sick. They look fluffy, they look soft and cuddly. And people around you might even say, "Aw, look how chubby and cute." But underneath that fur, excess weight puts enormous pressure on a cat's joints, liver, heart, and kidneys. The damage happens slowly, quietly, and by the time you notice something is wrong, years of harm have already been done. One of the most common feeding habits among cat owners is called free feeding, leaving a full bowl of dry food available at all times so the cat can eat whenever it wants. It sounds ideal, right? Your cat gets to eat on its own schedule, you don't have to worry about timing, and the bowl is always there. Convenient for you, natural for the cat. Except it's not natural at all. In the wild, cats don't have a bowl waiting for them 24 hours a day. They hunt, they stalk, they work for every meal. A wild cat might eat 10 to 20 small meals in a single day, but each one requires effort, focus, and energy. The act of hunting is part of what keeps a cat's body and mind healthy. When you replace all of that with a never-ending pile of kibble, you remove every challenge, every stimulation, every natural rhythm from your cat's life. What happens when food is always available? Cats lose their relationship with hunger. They stop eating because they're hungry and start eating because they're bored, anxious, or simply because the food is there. This is called emotional eating, and yes, cats do it too. A bored indoor cat with a full bowl will often eat just to have something to do. Over weeks and months, those extra calories stack up in ways that blood tests and vet visits eventually reveal. Beyond weight, constant access to dry food creates another serious problem: dehydration. Dry kibble contains very little moisture, sometimes less than 10%. Cats evolved in desert environments and naturally have a low thirst drive. They were designed to get most of their water from their prey. When dry food becomes the main or only source of nutrition, cats often don't drink nearly enough water to compensate. This puts constant strain on their kidneys, and kidney disease is one of the leading causes of death in domestic cats. The connection between that full bowl of kibble and your cat's kidneys is real, and it matters. Walk into any pet store and you'll see shelves packed with colorful bags of cat food. Natural, premium, with real chicken, veterinarian recommended. The packaging is designed to make you feel confident, even proud of your choice. But the marketing on cat food bags is one of the most misleading things in the entire pet industry, and most owners never look past it. Flip any bag of commercial dry cat food and look at the ingredients list. The first thing many people notice is that the protein they thought they were buying, chicken, salmon, turkey, is often followed by words like meal or byproduct. These terms matter. Chicken meal is rendered processed protein that's been stripped of moisture and often mixed with parts of the animal that you wouldn't expect. Byproducts can include organs, beaks, feet, and other components. That's not necessarily dangerous, but it's also not the clean, whole protein meal the front of the bag suggests. Then come the fillers: corn, wheat, rice, potato starch. These are carbohydrates used to hold the kibble together and reduce manufacturing costs. Here's the problem: cats are obligate carnivores. Their digestive systems were never designed to process large amounts of carbohydrates. Their bodies can convert some of it to energy, but the excess gets stored as fat. A diet consistently high in carbs doesn't just make cats gain weight, it disrupts their blood sugar, contributes to diabetes, and creates chronic inflammation in the gut. And then there are the additives. Artificial colors to make the food look appealing to you, not the cat. Cats don't care about color. Chemical preservatives to extend shelf life for months or even years and synthetic flavor enhancers to make the food palatable enough that the cat will actually eat it. The reason many cats seem addicted to a specific brand of dry food isn't loyalty, it's chemistry. The food is engineered to be craved. And when owners try to switch to something healthier, the cat refuses because it's been conditioned to expect that artificial hit of flavor. Your cat has been trying to tell you something is wrong. The signs are there. They're just easy to dismiss or misread. Most owners don't ignore these signals out of carelessness. They ignore them because nobody ever told them what to look for, or because the signs can look like completely normal cat behavior. Is your cat vomiting regularly? Not once in a while, but weekly, or even more often. Many owners chalk this up to just being a cat thing or assume it's hairballs. But frequent vomiting, especially after eating, is often a direct response to food that's too rich, eaten too fast, or poorly tolerated by your cat's digestive system. It's your cat's body saying, "Something isn't right with what I'm eating." When it happens enough times that you stop worrying about it, that's when it's become a real problem. Is your cat drinking a lot of water, or almost none at all? Both can be warning signs. Increased thirst is one of the early indicators of kidney stress or diabetes, conditions directly linked to long-term poor diet. A cat that barely drinks, meanwhile, is surviving on a level of dehydration that quietly wears down its internal organs over time. Because cats don't show pain the way dogs do, they hide it as an instinct from the wild. The damage is usually significant by the time a vet can measure it in tests. Has your cat become less healthful, more lethargic, or started sleeping even more than usual? People joke that cats are lazy by nature. And yes, they sleep a lot, but there's a difference between a cat that sleeps and wakes up bright and energized, and a cat that barely moves, seems uninterested in everything, and has slowly stopped doing the things it used to love. Lethargy in cats is often metabolic. It can mean the body isn't getting the nutrients it needs to function well, or that it's carrying a weight burden that makes movement uncomfortable. Weight gain is the most visible sign of all, and the most ignored. Because it happens gradually, owners don't notice. The cat that used to leap onto the counter now hesitates. The cat that used to chase toys now watches from a distance. Grooming becomes difficult. The cat can't reach its own back or base of tail. These are quality-of-life losses, happening one small step at a time, so slowly that you don't see them until you look at old photos and realize your cat looks completely different. By then, the damage to joints, liver, and cardiovascular health has been accumulating for years. The good news is, none of this is permanent. Cats are incredibly resilient animals, and even significant dietary damage can be partially or fully reversed when you make the right changes with care and consistency. You don't need to become a nutrition expert or spend a fortune on specialty food. You need to understand a few basic principles and apply them every single day. Start with meal structure. Instead of leaving food out all day, move to 2 or 3 measured meals at consistent times. This resets your cat's relationship with hunger, creates a natural rhythm, and gives you control over how much your cat actually eats. Use a measuring cup, not your hand, not about this much. Precision matters here. Your vet can help you calculate the right daily calorie amount based on your cat's weight and activity level. And most cat food brands list feeding guides on the packaging that are at least a reasonable starting point. Next, take hydration seriously. If your cat eats mostly dry food, add wet food to at least 1 meal per day. Wet food contains 70 to 80% moisture, much closer to what a cat's body was designed to get from prey. You can also add a small amount of low-sodium broth to dry food to increase fluid intake. Many cats who previously ignored their water bowl will drink more when you switch to a flowing water fountain, which mimics moving water in the wild and triggers their drinking instinct far more effectively than a still bowl. Look at ingredients. You don't need to memorize everything, but learn to read the first 5 items on any ingredient list. Those make up the bulk of what your cat is actually eating. Look for a named whole protein as the first ingredient, chicken, turkey, salmon, not meat meal as the very first item. Avoid foods where the first 2 or 3 ingredients are grains or starches. And if your cat is already showing health symptoms, ask your vet about a prescription or limited ingredient diet while the body recovers. Finally, give your cat's meals meaning. Use puzzle feeders, slow bowls, or food dispensing toys to bring back some of the mental engagement that eating naturally involves. Hide small portions around the house. Make your cat work a little for its food. This isn't cruelty, it's enrichment. It keeps your cat's brain active, slows down eating to reduce vomiting, burns a small amount of extra energy, and reconnects your cat with its natural instincts. A cat that has to hunt for its food is a more mentally balanced, more physically active, and ultimately happier animal. Here's the truth. Your cat can't read a label, can't choose what goes in the bowl, and can't tell you in words when something is wrong. Everything your cat eats every day for its entire life depends entirely on the choices you make. That's not pressure, that's power. And now you have the knowledge to use that power well. Small changes done consistently can add real years to your cat's life and real quality to every one of those years. Your cat trusts you completely. Make that trust worth it.